everyone. I hope you are doing well. Today we will introduce ourselves to formulae. We will start our class with formulae. Good evening everyone. I hope you are doing well. In this class we are going to be learning about formulae and variation. We have done over 95% of what is assessed in paper 1. That is the main areas assessed in paper 1. I want us now to introduce ourselves to paper 2, and we will start with this topic called formulae and variation. So we are going to start with formulae first. After we are done with formulae, we will now proceed to variation. 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 For instance, given the formula of a triangle, of the area of a triangle, given the formula, area is equal to a half base times height. This is the formula of finding the area of the triangle. In this case, our A is the subject. The reason we are saying that our A is the subject is because it is at the left hand side, and not just being on the left hand side. There is no other A on this other side. So in this case, A is the subject. But if we have been given this formula and we are told to make H the subject of our formula, H, it means H ibaki side moja ikiwa peke yake. So what we are going to do in this case, area is equals to a half base times height. For us to be left with a height alone, we are going to divide both sides with a half base, and this side also we are going to divide with a half base. So this is going to cancel a half base is going to cancel with a half base, and we will be left with the height is equal to A over a half B. A over a half B, of which if we can simplify this further, it is the same as saying AH is equals to A divided by a half B is the same as B over 2. So if we simplify that, we can say H is equals to A multiplied by 2 over B. So our H is equal to 2 area divided by base. 2 area divided by base. So scenario, we have made our H the subject of our formula. We have made our H the subject of our formula. Let us proceed to the second example. if for instance we have been given the formula, make with the subject of the formula, make W the subject of the formula, and our formula is area is equals to length times width. Area is equals to length times width. So for us, watu wako wapi? Where are you people, guys? Hello. Ambieni watu wote waingie. Ambieni watu wote waingie tafadhali. What is happening? I cannot see majority of us. Where are we? What about the rest? What about the rest? Waambie waingie tu. Amita, Shinde, wengine wako wapi? Waingie wote. Waingie wote. Swada. Tuingieni. So area is equals to length times to be in tafadhali. Area is equals to length times width, or with the subject. So our area is going to be length times width is length width. And since we want W as the subject, we are going to divide by L both sides, and we are going to have our W is equals to A over L. A over L. Generally, this is how we determine, we make something the sum of different formulas. Let us have another example. Waambieni waingie. Waambie waingie. Waambie waingie. So we have another formula. A is equals to V minus U over T. I want us to make T the subject of our formula. I want us to make T the subject of our formula. This is example 3. I want us to make T the subject of our formula. Good, tuendelee kuingia. I want us to make T the subject of our formula. So we have A is equals to V minus U over T. So with M equals to V minus U over T, and we want to make T the subject of our formula, this is the same as saying of 1. So we can cross multiply. So when we cross multiply A times T, we will multiply A with T and equals to 1 times V minus U. So A times T will be equal to AT is equals to 1 times V is V and 1 times U is U. So it will be V minus U. So for us to get T as the subject of our formula, we are going to divide both sides by A, and we will end up having our T is equal to V minus U over A. V minus U over A. And why are we getting V minus U over A? We are getting V minus U over A you can see t is not on the other side of the equal sign. So wakati ume make a letter subject, haifai kuwa on the other side, inafaa iwe just on one side. So if we have been able to understand that, we can have another example. Another example ambao tunaweza kuwa nayo ni make S the subject of the formula. Make S the subject of the formula. W is equal to S plus T over S, and this one is cube root. So it is the cube root. W is equals to the cube root of S plus T over S. That is what we are supposed to make the subject of our formula. More than wapi. That is what we are supposed to make the subject of our formula. Ambieni kila mtu about tuingie the subject of our formula. So we are supposed to make S the subject of our formula. So for us to make S the subject of our formula, what we are going to do in this case, we are going to see this one is cube root. So the first thing we can do is to remove this cube root sign. And for us to remove this cube root sign, the only way we can remove this cube root sign is cubing both sides. So we cube this side and we cube this side. So if we cube W, it is going to be W cubic. And if we cube the cube root of S plus T over S, this sign itaisha tubaki na S plus T over S. Because once you cube this, it simply means you raise it to power 3, and since it is already a cube root of 3 or a cube root, ukiraise to power 3 sign itaisha ibaki hivyo. And we want to make S the subject. We want to make S the subject. So in this case, we can say W cubic over 1. We cross multiply, and when we cross multiply, we are going to get S times W cubic is equal to 1 into bracket S plus T. 1 into bracket S plus T. And once we do that, S times W cubic will be equal to S W cubic is equal to 1 times S is S plus 1 times T is T. Don't forget, we want to make S the subject of our formula. And since we want to make S the subject of our formula, we will bring S on one side, tutazileta side moja, so ikue SW cubic minus S is equal to T. Is equal to T. So once we have that, SW cubic minus S is equal to T, we are going to factorize S. Tutoe S nje, juu tuko na S mara mbili hapa. Tukitoa S nje, tutabaki na W cubic minus 1 is equal to T. And since we want to make S the subject, we are going to divide both sides by W cubic minus 1 over W cubic minus 1. And when we cancel that and that, we will be left with S is equals to T over W cubic minus 1. T over W cubic minus 1. And this is going to be our final answer. If you can see this one clearly, you will note that on the other side of the equal sign, there is no S. S is only on the left hand side. S is only on the left hand side. If you are done copying this one, I think we can proceed and do another example. And I believe by the time we are doing another example, you will be in a better position to understand. Example 5. P make y the subject of the formula P is equal to xy over x minus y. 3 marks. Let us make that the subject of our formula. You mean there is no power? Let's continue then. Oh, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry for those who are in Garissa. I've seen that there is a power outage there. But I'm going to publish this video and you are going to watch it later. So don't worry, I'll publish it and make it public. You are going to watch it later. So P is equals to xy over x minus y, and we have been told to make y the subject of our formula. We have been told to make y the subject of our formula. So tukiwa na hii, tutakuja tuseme hii ni the same na P over 1. Hii ikiwa P over 1, let us cross multiply. Na tuki cross multiply tutapata P into bracket x minus y is equal to 1 into bracket xy, and we are supposed to make y the subject of the formula. So P times s is equal to px minus P times y is equal to py, which is equal to 1 times xy is xy. Seeing that we have y here and y here, we can opt to take this on the other side, so that we are left with px is equals to xy. If we take this to the other side, it is going to be plus py. I was trying to avoid this negative, because if I brought this on this side, it would also have been a negative, and I don't want us to deal with the negative. That is why I have opted to take this to the other side of the equal sign. So we can now even rewrite this one as xy plus py is equal to px, and we want to make y the subject of our formula. So what we are going to do, we are going to factorize y, tutoe y nje, ndani tubaki na x plus p is equal to, the other side we have px. And because we want y as our subject, we are going to divide both sides by x plus p by x plus p, and we are going to get our y as, we cancel, we are left with y is equals to px over x plus p. Px over x plus p. If you check this one clearly, you will note that there is no y on the other side of the equal sign, and we are done. We are done. Number 6, we have given that y is equal to b minus bh squared over ch squared minus a, make h the subject. Make h the subject. Make h the subject. Make h the subject. So given such, y is equals to b minus bh squared over ch squared minus a, and we have been told to make h the subject in this case. What we are going to do, this one we said is the same as over 1. We are going to cross multiply. And when we cross multiply, we are going to get y into bracket ch squared minus a is equals to 1 into brackets b minus bh squared. B minus bh squared. So when we multiply here, we are going to get y times ch squared, we will get ch squared y minus ay. Ch squared y minus ay. Remember, we are still making x our subject, is equal to 1 times bh squared is minus bh squared, and we are still making x the subject. So tutaleta x zote in one side, tutaleta hii x huku, so ikue ch squared y plus bh squared, nayo hii tupeleke huko, is equals to b plus ay. B plus ay. Tumeleta hii na huku na tukapeleka hii the other side. So ikakuwa ch squared y plus bh squared, this was minus, so ikikuja huku itakuwa plus, is equals to b, this b plus ay. And we are in the process of finding the making x the subject. So hapa tuko na x squared na hapa tuko na x squared. So we can put our x squared outside the bracket and we open. So once we tumetoa x squared because it is the common factor, hapa tutabaki na cy plus b is equals to b plus ay. B plus ay. Don't forget, we want to make x the subject of our formula. We want to make x the subject of our formula. So we are going to divide both sides by cy plus b by cy plus b. And once we divide both sides, we are going to get x squared is equals to b plus ay over cy plus b. X squared is equals to b plus ay over cy plus b. But since we want to make x the subject, not x squared, we are going to find x. So our x will be the square root on both sides. So it is going to be plus or minus. Why are we saying plus or minus? Because when you find the square root, you get either a positive or a negative. So it is going to be plus or minus the square root of this, b plus ay over cy plus b. B plus ay over cy plus b over cy plus b. I hope you've understood that process. I want us to do another one. We are going to do as many as possible, and we will do as many as possible. I can see you are still joining. Those who have just joined, thank you very much for joining. Let us do another question. Make t the subject of the formula. Make t the subject of the formula. Make t the subject of the formula. S is equal to square root of 3D into brackets T minus D over 8. 3 marks. Find or make T the subject of that formula. So we have S is equals to 3D into brackets T minus D over 8, and we are supposed to make that the subject. We are supposed to make T the subject of our formula. So what we are going to do in this case, because we have a square root sign, tutangangana tutoe hii square root sign. So how do we remove the square root sign? We remove the square root sign by squaring both sides. So we will square this side and square this side. So s squared is going to be s squared, or s times s is s squared. Then when we square this one, the square root sign itaisha na tutabaki na 3d into bracket t minus d over 8. Hiyo ndo tutabaki nayo, and we are supposed to make t the subject of the formula. So we can now proceed at this side. S squared is equals to 3d times t, itakuwa 3dt, then minus 3d times d. 3d times t is 3dt, then 3d times d is 3d squared. 3d squared over 8. We are supposed to make t the subject of the formula. We are supposed to make t the subject of the formula. So what we are going to do here, we say over 1, then we cross multiply. So 8 times s squared, 8 times s squared, or let us start with the one with t. Tuanze na hii. So 1 times 3 dt minus 3d squared is equals to, we have taken this one, we cross multiplied. Remember when we cross multiply, we say it is this times this is equal to this times this. So itakuwa 1 times 3 dt minus 3d squared equals 8 times s squared, it is 8s squared. Don't forget, we are making t the subject of the formula. We are making t the subject of the formula. So what we are going to do in this case, we will now open our bracket. It will remain like that, 3 dt minus 3d squared is equals to 8s squared. Remember, we are making t the subject. So t iko hapa. Kwa hivyo kila kitu yote tutapeleka huko. Tukipeleka huko tutabaki na nini? 3 dt is equals to 8s squared minus 3d squared. We are making t our subject. So because we want to be left with t on this side, we will divide both sides by 3d by 3d. And when we divide both sides by 3d, this one is going to cancel with that one, and we will be left with, we are going to be left with, we will be left with t is equals to 8s squared minus 3d squared over 3d. That is equal to t. Don't forget that when we are, that is the, we have already made t our subject, so that is the answer. Don't forget that when we are making a letter a subject of the formula, haufai kuiona on the other side of the equal sign. You are not supposed to see it on the other side of the equals sign. So kama tumemaliza hiyo, let's do more and more before we start variation. We have another one here. Make x the subject of the formula. Make x the subject of the formula. Y is equals to bx over square root of cx squared minus a. 3 marks. Haya. So we are supposed to make x the subject of the formula. So hapa ni y subject sahi, but tunafaa ku make x. Then because I can see that the majority of you have already joined, I want you to clarify to me on the comment section. One of you suggested that we have a 2-hour session today. Personally, I'm comfortable having a 2-hour session, but I want you to make a comment on the comment section. If we can go for 2 hours, that is still 9 p.m. If you are comfortable and if you are okay with that, kindly comment that on the comment section, and I'm going to adhere on what you are going to suggest. I'm going to see from the comment section, so kindly do that as we do this question. Quickly, let's continue. Y is equals to bx over square root of cx squared minus a. Anytime you see a root sign, try your level best to work out that root sign. Try your level best to remove it. Uiondoe. So, na kuiondoa tumesema ni kusquare kila kitu. So, tutasquare hapa kila kitu na tu square hapa kila kitu. So, y na squared itakuwa y squared is equals to, tukisquare bx hapa inamaanisha tu square yote, numerator na denominator. So tukisquare bx itakuwa b squared x squared. Hapa wanafunzi wengi huwa wanakosea. Wanakuja wanasema bx squared is equal to bx squared. No. These are two different numbers. This is the same as saying bx times bx. And when you multiply bx times bx, it is going to give you b times b is b squared. X times x is x squared. It is going to be b squared, x squared. B squared, x squared. So it is going to be b squared, x squared over, ya chini itakuwa, ukisquare ya chini tumesema hiyo square root sign itaisha, ibaki cx squared minus a. And that is going to be x. For us to make x the subject, remember we are supposed first to cross multiply. So when we cross multiply, tutakuwa na y squared into brackets cx squared minus a is equals to 1 into brackets b squared x squared, and we are supposed to make x the subject of the formula. d squared. Yeah. Nitushapita hilo swali. You are okay? Okay. If you are okay, then that's good. So, let us open this bracket. It is going to be cx squared times y squared is going to be cx squared y squared minus y squared times a. It will be minus ay squared. I'm arranging them alphabetically. Is equals to 1 times b squared x squared. It is going to be b squared x squared, and here we have an x. We have an x. Kwa hivyo tutaleta zenye ziko na x side moja. Tulete hii huku, nayo hii iende huko. So on the other side we are going to have cx squared y squared minus b squared x squared is equals to ay squared. Na tunataka ku make x the subject. We want to make x the subject of the formula. So what we are going to do, tutatoa nje x squared, tubaki na, we are factorizing. The reason tunaitoa ni juu iko hapa na hapa. So hatuwezi enda tukiwa tumedivide. No, it is not acceptable. But we can be able to factorize it out. Okay. Oh. No. Sorry. Just a small mistake. Ni writing imeanguka kiasi. I think it's now back. Iko sawa. So itakuwa x squared itoke nje, tubaki na cy squared minus b squared is equal to ay squared, na tuna make x the subject. So tunataka tubaki na x hapa. So now we can divide both side with cy squared minus b squared, na hii side pia cy squared minus b squared. So we will cancel that with that, na tutakuwa na x squared is equals to ay squared over cy squared minus b squared. Hii ni x squared. I want you to understand that this is x squared is equals to ay squared over cy squared minus b squared. So because we want to be left with x alone, tutatafuta square root on both sides, na tutabaki na x is equals to plus or minus. We said tukitafuta square root tunapatanga plus or minus ay squared over cy squared minus b squared. So tell me, with all those examples that we have done, are you okay with formulae? Are you okay with formulae? With all the examples that we have done, mko sawa na formulae ama tufanye examples zingine before we proceed to variation? Kabla tuende kwa variation, nataka mniambie ama mko sawa kwa formulae. Tafadhali tuongee, niambieni hapo. Just comment there and tell me whether you are okay with formulae so that we can start on variation. We have to do direct variation, we do inverse variation, then probably we can work out on joint variation if time allows. Just drop on the comment section so that I'll know whether we can proceed to variation. I'm waiting. I hope with all those examples we have done, let us give it a benefit of doubt and do one more. Tufanye moja ya mwisho. Tukifanya moja ya mwisho, tuendelee. Make n the subject of the formula. 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 Let us do this one. We give it a benefit of doubt that maybe mwenye hajaelewa ataelewa sasa hii. Okay, that's good. Tuendelee. R over P is equals to M over square root of n minus 1. 3 marks. 3 marks. So let us do this one. Tulisema ukiona square root sign, tunang'ang'ana kutoa hii square root sign, and the only way we can eliminate this square root sign is by squaring both sides. We square there and we square there. So when you square both sides, this one will be equal to r squared over p squared. R squared over p squared. Why are we saying r squared over p squared? Because r over p times r over p is going to be r times r is r squared over p times p is equal to p squared. So that is why we are getting it as r squared p squared. So Tukipata hiyo r squared over p squared is equals to m squared over, if we square the denominator, the square root sign itaisha, tubaki na n minus 1. And let us not forget we are making n the subject of our formula. So we are going to multiply, cross multiply, and when we cross multiply, we are going to have r squared into brackets n minus 1 is equal to p squared into brackets m squared. And remember, we are making n the subject of our formula. So r squared times n is equal to n r squared. Then r squared times 1 is equals to r squared is equals to, when we square this one, when we multiply this one, it is going to be p squared m squared. P squared m squared. Don't forget that we are making n the subject of our formula. And since we are making n the subject of our formula, we now need to take everything that has no n to the other side. So we will take minus r squared to the other side, and we will have n r squared is equals to p squared m squared. When we take this to the other side, itakuwa plus r squared. Remember, we are making n the subject of the formula. Once we have that, we can now divide both sides by r squared. We will divide by r squared. We divide by r squared. So we will now simplify by r squared 1 by r squared 1, and we will have n is equals to p squared m squared plus r squared over r squared. Yes, iko sawa? Yes, and you can get that as your answer. If you observe clearly, n is on just one side of the equal sign. So itaishia hapo na tutaendelea. Imefika mwisho. So having done all this, I hope you have understood. I'm going to share with you some of the work on formulae and variation. And as I share that work, I want us to now introduce on formulae. I want us now to introduce ourselves to variation. We will now introduce ourselves to variation. And if it is your first time to be in this YouTube channel, ensure you share the video, this live streaming, ensure you subscribe, turn on the notification bell, so that each and every time I upload a new video, or each and every time I am live streaming, Top Grade Academy will always send you a notification in your phone that Top Grade Academy is live streaming or a new video has just been uploaded. So, formulae and variation, we are done with formulae. I want us now to start with variation. And for us to start with variation, variations, we will start with the first one called direct variation. Direct variation. We will start with direct variation. So when we talk of direct variation, what we are saying is that we have, for instance, we have two variables. We can say we have two variables. For instance, we have variable A and B. We have variable A and variable B. We have variable A and variable B. These are two different variables. And for these two different variables, maybe we come and say that variable A varies directly as variable B. Variable A varies directly as variable B. What does that statement mean? That statement means if variable A is increasing, variable B is also increasing. If variable A is increasing, variable B is also increasing. So it simply means if we are to represent that on a Cartesian plane, having this as variable A and this one as variable b, this one being 0, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one is a Cartesian plane, so imeenda hivyo, and we have a line. This line is a good representation of direct variation. This line is a good representation of direct variation. Why are we saying so? Because an increase in variable A is causing an increase in variable B. Is causing an increase in variable B. You can clearly see that. Inaenda hivyo. Increase in variable A is also leading to an increase in variable B. So this is a good representation of direct variation. But now, how do we represent variations? This is just a graphical representation of direct variation. How then do we represent variation in not in statement form, but in formulaic form? So when we have been told that variable A varies directly as variable B, that simply means variable A varies directly. So the symbol of showing variation is what I've just drawn. Variable A varies directly as variable B. Variable A varies directly as variable B. Variable A varies directly as variable B. So this is the sign we use to show variation. Variable A varies directly as variable B. So what we do now, this is how we write variation. A varies directly as B. But with this sign, we cannot be able to solve such. So what we do is that we introduce what we call a constant of proportionality. We introduce a constant of proportionality. We introduce a constant of proportionality. So for us to change this into equal sign, we must introduce a constant of proportionality. So what we say is that A is equals to, when we change this sign to be equals, we must introduce a constant. So I like using K as the constant because a majority of the cases you find C being used as variable. But just in case, we will come to partial variation where we have two constants of proportionality, but that we'll do it later. So A equals to KB. So once we change this sign to be equals, we introduce a constant of proportionality. So A is equals to KB. A is equals to KB. So having that in mind, we can have some questions here. Introduce constants of proportionality in the variations below. In the variations below. A, P is directly proportional to a half Q. B, T is directly proportional to C. And C, L is directly proportional to 3T squared. So I want you to introduce a constant of proportionality in this. Introduce a constant of proportionality in this and give me the solutions, if possible. If possible. If possible. solutions to be P is equals to, we use K, so we can say a half KQ. A half KQ. The second one, T is equals to KC. KC. And the third one will be L is equals to 3K T squared. 3K T squared. And we are done. We are done. So I've just sent you some questions that is in WhatsApp on the wall, so that you can attempt those questions on Formulae. So this is how we introduce the constant of proportionality. This is how we introduce the constant of proportionality. Let us respond to a question here. Direct variation. We are still in direct variation. So A varies directly as B, given that A is 4 when B is 2, find B when A is 6. Find B when A is 6. So I want us to respond to this question. Kila mtu arudi sasa. Ambieni kila mtu arudi. Sahi sasa mambo imeanza kuwa mwecheche. Rudini. Mambo sahi ni mwecheche. Come back. Okay, vila haidi sahi kumandori hadi ya sabaya ndara sabari simpu baba. Mbio teke. Haya. A varies directly as B. Ukisoma tu hiyo unakuja unaandika A varies directly as B. So hapa tuko kwa solution, sorry. A varies directly as B. A varies directly as B. A varies directly as B. Ukiandika hivyo, A varies directly as B, given that A is 4. So ukiona hivi, kwanza una introduce a constant of proportionality. So utaiandika A is equals to K. K ni small. B. A is equals to KB. Sasa tumeambiwa given that A is 4 and B is 2. A is 4 and B is, when B is 2, hizi mbili zitatusaidia kupata K. So given that A is 4, tuta replace A na 4 is equals to K we don't have, but our B we have is 2. So can we be able to find K? We are going to get our K, yes. 4 is equals to 2 times K is equal to 2K. So we are going to get 2 and 2. So we will get our K is equal to 2. When we get our K is 2, we will now first write the equation connecting A and B. The equation connecting A and B is going to be, remember we said it is A equals to KB. We already know our K, so it is A is equals to 2B. That is the equation connecting A and B. That is the equation connecting A and B. Now let us proceed to answer our question. Our question asks, find B when A is 6. Find B when A is 6. Find B when A is 6. So we already have the equation connecting A and B. A is equals to 2B. And tunaambiwa tutafute B when A is 6. We find B when A is 6. So we are going to replace 6, A with 6, and we will have 6 is equals to 2B. And we will divide both sides by 2, by 2, by 2, 1, by 2, 1. Our B will be equal to 6 divided by 2 is 3. So our B is equal to 3. 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 So, let us do another question and another example. Let us do another example. Example 2. P varies directly as the square of Q. P varies directly as the square of Q. Given that P is equals to 4 when Q is equals to 3, comma, find A, the equation connecting P and Q, 2 marks, and B, the value of P when Q is 2. Two marks. So let us do that one. P varies directly as the square of Q. Given that P is 4 when Q is 3, find the equation connecting P and Q. Find the equation connecting P and Q. So tukasema ukiambiwa P varies directly as the square of Q. P varies directly as the square of Q. As the square of Q. So it is going to be P varies directly as the square of Q. So the square of Q is Q squared. The square of Q is Q squared. So we are now going to replace this with an equal sign. And we said when we introduce an equal sign, we introduce a constant of proportionality K, Q squared. So P proportional to Q squared is equal to P equals KQ squared. So once we have that, let's utilize this space well. Once we have that, place P, we have when P is 4, Q is 3. So when our P is 4, our Q is 3 squared. So it is going to be K multiplied by 3 squared. So 3 squared is 9. So our 4 is equals to 9K. 9K. And because we want to find our K, we will divide both sides by 9 by 9. And when we divide like that, we will get our K is equals to 4 over 9. 4 over 9. When we get our K is equal to 4 over 9, we are now supposed to determine the equation connecting P and Q. And we say the equation connecting P and Q format is P is equals to KQ squared. So we are going to replace k with 4 over 9 tukue na p is equals to 4 over 9 q squared. So this one is the equation connecting p and q. P is equals to 4 over 9 q squared. We now proceed to part B. The value of p when q is 2. The value of p when q is 2. The value of p when q is 2. Ikifika hapo tutachukua ile equation p is 4 over 9 q squared. So when we have this, we are now going to find p is equals to 4 over 9 times q squared. Our q squared means our 2 squared, because q tumesema when our q is equal to 2. So itakuwa p is equals to 4 over 9 times 2 squared is 4. 2 squared is 4. So we are going to get our p is equal to 4 over 9 times 4 is equal to 16 over 9. Is equal to 16 over 9. Na tutaachia hapo 16 over 9. I hope you have understood on direct variation. Direct variation. Have you understood? If you have understood, sema uko sawa. Tufanye ingine ya mwisho. The reason nimeanza hapa, sijaenda nikiwa nimeenda application, ni ili mtu ambaye hana foundation nzuri ya variation afanye nini, aelewe. Acha tutoe kofi kwa sababu hii hesabu imefanya temperatures zikapanda. Hii nayo ni mwecheche. Haya, tuendelee. You can try and do some few stretches. Do some few stretches. Fanya mazoezi kidogo, nyorosha mwili. Do some stretches kidogo tu, tuna refresh. Tuna refresh. Tuna refresh. Tuna refresh. Haya, tuendelee sasa. Example 3. M varies directly as the square root of n. M varies directly as the square root of n. Good. Mariam, I have understood. That's good. Tufanye hii ya mwisho. Ili mtu ajaelewa hizo mbili sasa ataelewa hii. M varies directly as the square root of n. Given that m is equal to 7, when n is equals to 16, comma, find colon the equation connecting m and n. The equation connecting m and n, 2 marks. And question B, the value of m when n is equals to 25. When n is equals to 25. So tufanye hiyo. So m varies directly as the square root of n. Given that m is 7, so m varies directly as the square root of n. M varies directly as the square root of n. So when we have such, we said we are going to introduce the constant of proportionality, and it is going to be m is equals to k square root of n. K square root of n. And in here tumeambiwa given that m is 7 and n is 16. Kuna kitu moja nataka uelewe. Tunapewa hizi zote mbili ili zitusaidie kupata k. So our m is 7 is equals to our k we don't have, but the square, it is k square root of 16. And the square root of 16 is 4. So our 7 is going to be equal to 4k. So square root of 16 is 4. So for us to get k, we divide both sides by 4. And when we divide both sides, you will get k is equal to 7 over 4. K is equal to 7 over 4. Tukipata k ni 7 over 4, therefore, the connecting m and n itakuwa m is equals to k ni nini? Ni 7 over 4 multiplied by square root of n. 7 over 4 multiplied by square root of n. 7 over 4 multiplied by square root of n. So tukipata hiyo to proceed hapa. The value of m when n is 25. So already our m is 7 over 4 multiplied by square root of n. And tushaambiwa our n is 25. So what do? We will have m is equals to 7 over 4 multiplied by square root of 25 is 5. It is 5. So if the square root is 5, we can just rub and write 5. So our m is going to be 7 times 5 is 35, so it will be 35 over 4. Our m will be equal to 35 over 4. 35 over 4. Tumeelewa? Our m will be 35 over 4. Tuko sawa? Tuko sawa? Haya. Niambieni kama mko sawa. Kama tuko sawa tuendelee. Si ndio? Tuko sawa? Can we continue? Have we understood? Have we understood? That's good. Tuendelee. Sasa nataka tuingie inverse variation. Inverse variation. Inverse variation. So in inverse variation, this is where we have two variables. For instance, given variable a and b, given variable a and variable b, comma, when we talk of a is inversely all, an increase in variable a leads to a decrease. It leads to a decrease in variable b. It leads a decrease in variable b. If you do chemistry, remember in Boyle's law, we said that the volume of a given mass of a gas is inversely proportional to its pressure when the temperature is kept at constant. So it's just the same scenario here. In Boyle's law, the pressure and the volume are inversely proportional. What we just did earlier about direct variation is like Charles' law, but this one is like Boyle's law. So, given that variable A and variable B, an increase in variable A leads to a decrease in variable B. What does that mean? If we have a Cartesian plane here of A and B, and we have 0, we have such, what we are going to do in this scenario, hiyo inaenda hivi, hiyo ni line inaenda hivi. This is inverse variation. Inverse variation. Why? Because an increase in variable A, you see, tukienda hivi variable A ina increase, lakini tukipanda juu variable B inapungua. You can see variable B is decreasing. Unaona vizuri. You can clearly see. Unaona inapungua. So this is just the representation of a graphical representation of inverse variation. A graphical representation of inverse variation. A graphical representation of inverse variation. So ukiweza ambiwa if umeambiwa A varies inversely as B. That is the first example. A varies inversely as B. A varies inversely as B. How are we going to go about this? A varies inversely, not inverse. A varies inversely as B. So itakuwa A varies inversely 1 over B. Why 1 over B? It is the reciprocal. A varies inversely as 1 over B. So A varies inversely as B. A varies inversely as B. If we say Q varies inversely as the square root of R. Q varies inversely as the square root of R. Q varies inversely as the square root of R. It means that Q varies inversely 1 over the square root of R. Q varies inversely as the square root of R. Q varies inversely as the square root of R. Q varies inversely as the square root of R. That is how we do it. In the same case, let us now introduce the constant of proportionality. Let us introduce the constant of proportionality. I'm seeing we are 5 left. Na tulikuwa 9. I hope we are not tired. Do we continue? Tuendelee. Introducing of proportionality. So we have A varies inversely as B. Tuko na B. Q varies inversely as the square root of R. Na tuko na C. T varies inversely as the square of Q. As the square of Q. Tutafute solution. Ya A. We introduce constant of proportionality. A is equals to K over B. K over B. Haina tofauti hata ukisema or A is equals to K into bracket 1 over B. Because even if you multiply 1 over B with K, bado utapata K over B. It is the same. The second one is going to be Q is equals to K over square root of R, or Q is equals to K into brackets 1 over square root of R. It makes no difference. Then C, T is equals to K over Q squared, which it can also be equal to Q is equals to K into bracket 1 over Q squared. 1 over Q squared. Do we have people on board? Tumepungua. Turudi, good one. Tuendelee kurudi sote. I hope tumeandika hiyo. I hope tumeiandika vizuri. Have we? Tumeandika? Haya. Haya. Example 1. Quantity P varies inversely as the square of T. Full stop. Given that P is 8 when T is 2, find part A, the equation connecting P and T, 2 marks, and part B, find T when P is 6. Find T when P is 6. Tuendelee. Tuendelee. Hii ni ingine mwecheche. When math is mathing up. Welcome to paper 2. Sasa tuko paper 2. Wale tumekuwa tukiuliza paper 2, paper 2 ndio hii. Paper 2 ndio hii. Welcome to paper 2. Na tukasema tuanze na hii. And the reason we do topic by topic is so that we can overcome weaknesses. We can overcome weaknesses. Na hapa tunafanyanga bio bio, yenye tunasoma bio. So, tuendelee. Kila mtu amerudi. Aya, mnatoka tu. Quantity P varies inversely as the square of t. P varies inversely as the square of t. So tukasema ukisema hivi sasa una introduce k. So itakuwa P is equals to k over t squared. Na tukasema ukisema hivyo una introduce hizo values. When P, given that P is 8, when T is 2. So P ni 8 is equals to K na T ni 2. So 2 squared is 4. So our K, if we cross multiply, it will be K is equals to 8 times 4 is 32. Tukiwa tumepata K ni 32, the equation connecting P and Q itakuwa P is equals to 32 over T squared. 32 over T squared. Sasa tukuje hapa, P is equals to 32 over T squared. Na tumeambiwa tutafute T when P is 6. So tutakuja to replace P na 6, ikuwe 6 is equals to 32 over T squared. So cross multiply 6 times T squared itakuwa 6T squared is equals to 32 times 1 ni 32. So we divide both side by 6. We divide both side by 6. By 6 1 by 6 1. And we will get our T squared as 32 divided by 6 by 2, 16 by 2, 3. So it will be 16 over 3. And if we find the square root, what is the square root of 16 over 3? Chanione wale wako darasani. What is the square root of 16 over 3? What is the square root of 16 over 3? The square root of 16 over 3? The square root of 16 over 3? Awe utapata tu. Hiyo ndio jibu. $2.30. Good. Thank you. $2.30. Tuendelee. Let's do the second one. variable x varies inversely as the cube root of y, full stop. When x is 12, comma, y is 8, full stop, find a the equation connecting x and y, 2 marks, and part B, find the value of x when y is equal to 64. When y is equal to 64. Kwa sawa, tuendelee. When y is equals to 64. So the equation connecting x and y, variable x varies inversely. It varies inversely as the cube root of y. So that is what it is saying. Variable x varies inversely 1 over the cube root of y. The cube root of y. So ukiona hivyo tukasema una introduce k, so itakuwa x is equals to k over cube root of y. When x is 12, y is 8. So when x is 12, y is 8. So it will be equal to k over cube root of 8. So itakuwa 12 is equals to k over, what is the cube root of 8? What is the cube root of 8? The cube root of 8 is 2. The cube root of 8 is equal to 2. Because if you have 2 cubic, it is equal to 8. So it is 8 by 2, 4 by 2, 2. So 8 is equals to 2 times 2 times 2. You have to pick only one, so which is 2. So tumalizie k, we can cross multiply. K is equal to 12 times 2, and our k will be equal to 24. Our k will be equal to 24. When we get our k as 24, we can now write the equation connecting. The equation connecting. Cha tufute hapa, ndio itoshei. Tuandike hapa. So our x will be equal to 24 over cube root of y. 24 over cube root of y. Tukipata hiyo tuende hapa chini. X is equals to 24 over the cube root of y. Sasa tunaambiwa find the value of x when y is 64. So x is going to be 24 over the cube root of 64. What is the cube root of 64? The cube root of 64 is 4. The cube root of 64 is 4. So you are going to take 24 divided by 4 and you are going to get your x as 6. You will get your x as 6. You will get your x as 6. Thank you for that, Shindes. So hadi hapo tumefika. Tumeelewa formulae, tumeelewa direct na inverse. Tumeelewa hizo zote tatu. Kuna maswali nishawatumia kwa WhatsApp. So kazi iko na nitawatumia pia marking scheme ya hayo maswali, ili ukifanya una confirm hapo ama umepata. My concern is tumeelewa direct na inverse vizuri. Iko sawa? Kama tumeelewa hiyo, sasa niwaulize, mnaonaje? Should I introduce joint variation? Should I introduce joint variation? Should I introduce joint variation? Sidio, tuifanye. Ama mmechoka? Tufanye joint. Tufanye joint variation. Tufanye joint. Kabla tuingie joint, kuna swali hapa. On inverse, there is a question here that was assessed in KCSE on inverse variation. This question reads, the electrical resistance R ohms of a wire of a given length is inversely proportional to the square of the diameter of the wire D millimeters. Full stop. If R is equals to 2.0 ohms when D is equals to 3 millimeters, comma, find the value of R when D is 4 millimeters. And that question was 3 marks. That question was 3 marks. So we are going to do that question. Haya, iko hivyo. The electrical resistance R ohms of a wire of a given length is inversely proportional. So tumeambiwa the electrical resistance R, we are now in solution. This is now solution. Hii ni solution. R ohms is inversely proportional 1 over to the square of the diameter of the wire D. So it is proportional to the square of the diameter D. To the square of the diameter D. Alafu tunaambiwa, so ukiona hivi kwanza una introduce constant. R is equals to K over D squared. Alafu tunaambiwa aje, if R is 2 ohms when D is 3, when D is 3, what do we have to do here? We have to replace this so that we can get the equation. So R is 2 is equals to K over D squared. D squared is 3 squared, which is equal to 9. So 2 is equals to K over 9. So over 1, our K is going to be 2 times 9 is 18. After we get 18, so the equation connecting R and D is R is equals to, we have our K is 18 over D squared. That is the equation. So the question asks, if R is 2 when D is 3, find the value of R when D is 4. So when D is 4, we are supposed to find the value of R. So R yetu itakuwa nini? R will be 18 over 4 squared. So our R will be 18 over 16. 18 over 16 is the same as by 2, 9, and by 2, 8. So our R is going to be 9 over 8 ohms, or 1 whole 1 over 8 ohms. 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 Sasa juu tumefanya hii, nataka tuingie joint variation. Leo mahali mtu atalala akiwa amesoma vizuri akiwa amechoka vizuri. Joint awasamehe, awabariki ili muweze kuokolewa. Endelee. So, when we are talking of joint, you can be told of something like this. Variable A varies directly as the, I don't want to use the word joint, you just leave that. Variable A varies directly as the square of B, and inversely as the square root of C. Variable A varies directly as the square of B, and inversely as the square root of C. Haya. If you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, kindly ensure you click the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so that you will be updated with more and more. So, variable A is directly proportional, or it varies directly as the square of B, and inversely as the square root of C, and inversely as the square root of C. Nirudie tena. Variable A varies directly as the square of B, and inversely as the square root of C. Nedanga hivyo. So ukiintroduce K hapa, A will be equal to, you can say KB squared over square root of C. KB squared over the square root of C. Wacha nije kidogo. Just a minute. Okay, I'm back. Let us continue. So let's continue. Example 1. 3 quantities P, Q, and R are such that P varies directly as the square of Q and inversely as the square root of R. Part A, given that P equals to 20 when Q is 5 and R equals to 9, comma, find P when Q equals 7 and R equals 25. 3 marks. 3 marks. 3 quantities P, Q, and R are such that P varies directly. So P varies directly as the square of Q and inversely as the square root of R. So in simple terms, if we introduce a constant of proportionality, this is going to be P is equals to KQ squared over square root of R. KQ squared over square root of R. Given that P is 20, so P is 20 equals K, Q is 5, so 5 squared, tuende direct mara moja. 5 squared ni 25, so 25 times K itakuwa 25K. So that we can at least utilize our space. So this one will be 5 squared times 5 squared is 25 times K, 25K over the square root of R. Our R is 9. So the square root of 9 is 3. Can we be able to get our K? Yes. We cross multiply. 25K times 1 is 25K. 20 times 3 is 60. Let's divide with 25. We divide with 25. By 25 by 25 1. So K is equals to 60 divided by 25. We can write it as a fraction. By 5 is 12. And by 5 is 5. So let it just remain as 12 over 5. So if K is 12 over 5, then our P will be equal to 12 over 5. It can be written as 12 over 5 as a fraction. Q squared upande wa juu over square root of R. There is no difference. Can just write it as that, like that. Then all you can say P equals to, if you divide 12 divided by 5, utapata nini? 12 divided by 5, 5 times 2 is 10. 2, a decimal as 0, it will be 2.4. It can still be 2.4 Q squared over square root of R. Any can do. You can write it when you utataka, either this one or this one. After kufanya hivyo, so our P is going to be 12 times, tumeambiwa Q squared when Q, find when Q is 7. So 7 squared is 49. 7 squared is 49. So only 12 times 49 over 5 times the square root of R. R is 25. So the square root of 25 will be equal to 5. So our P will be equal to 12 times 49. So 49 times 12, that will be 8 carry 1, 9, then 9 and 4. So it will be 8, 8, 1, 5. So it will be 588 divided by 25. It will be like that. So what is 588 divided by 25? 588 divided by 25. 588 divided by 25. 588 divided by 25. Utapata nini? What is 588 divided by 25? Give me the answer. Five 88 divided by 25. 25 times 2, 50. 8, we drop 8. 25 times 4. No, 25 times 3. 75. To subtract iwe 3, 1. Put a decimal as 0. 25 times 5, 125. Remainder 5, 2. So our P will be equal to 23.52. 23.52. That's correct. 23.52. 23.52. So tufanye ingine. Three quantities P, Q and R are such that P varies directly as Q and inversely as the square root of R. Full stop. When P equals 8, comma, Q equals 10 and R equals 16. Determine the equation connecting P, Q and R. Determine the equation connecting P, Q and R. That is our question. Determine the equation connecting P, Q, and R. So three quantities P, Q, and R are such that P varies directly as Q. So P varies directly as Q and inversely as the square root of R. And inversely as the square root of R. So we are going to introduce our constant of proportionality. P is equals to KQ over square root of R. So alafu tunaambiwa when P is 8, Q is 10, so 10 times K, it will be 10K over the square root of R, and R is 16. So what is the square root of 16? Is 4. So with 8 is equals to 10K over 4, we can be able to determine the value of K. So you say over 1, we cross multiply, 10K times 1 is 10K is equals to 8 times 4 is 32. We divide both sides by 10, and when we divide by 10, we'll get our K is 32 divided by 10 is 3.2. And when we get our K is 3.2, then our determine the equation connecting P, Q, and R. So the equation will be having P is KQ over square root of R. So our P will be equal to our K in 3.2 Q over square root of R, or our P. If we write 3 over 2 as a fraction, 3.2 as a fraction, it will be 32 over 10. So 32 over 10 is the same as 16 over 5. By 2, 16, by 2, 5. So it can be also 16 over 5 Q over 5 square root of R. And that is okay also. And that one is also correct. So that is it. Tumalizie hapo ama tufanye ya mwisho? Unaonaje? Tumalizie hapo ama tufanye ya mwisho? What do you suggest? Tumalizie hapo ama tuendelee? Tuendelee? Ama hiyo nyingine tuendelee kesho? Kabla muende, achani tufanye kamwisho. Naona hatuna haraka. Even if I've just tested you kuambia tufungie hapo, achani tufanye kamwisho. Unaona hiyo hesabu ni mwecheche. Hii ni nyingine mwecheche. So kesho ni kumalizia hii topic ishaisha. Na nyinyi swali mjitume kujituma. Hiyo kazi nimewapatia, mtawatumia marking scheme. Form ni kujituma. Three quantities. Example 2. R, S, and T are such that R varies directly as the square of T No, R varies directly as S. Sorry. R varies directly as S R varies directly as S and inversely as the square root, no, and inversely as the square of T. Given that R is 480 when S is 150 and T is equal to 5, comma, write an equation connecting R, S, and T. 4 marks. Part B, find the value of R when S is 360 and T equals to 1.5. 2 marks. Hii hata si itafanya, hii nawaachia. Let that be part of your assignment. Cha hii iwe part ya assignment yenu. Sinaelewa hii maneno mshaiva. Wah. Naelewa hii kitu tushaelewa. Haya, hiyo ni assignment. Fanyeni hiyo assignment. Bye. Kweni na usiku mwema. Do this as your assignment. Kesho tutakuja kuendelea na joint variation, the part for percentage na partial variation. Tumalize hii. Tukimaliza hii sasa, tuingie the next topic. Tukiingia the next topic, hiyo nyingine nawaelekeza course outline ninawatumia hapo, zile units zote ama zile topics zote tunafaa kufanya za paper 2. All the best. Have a blessed night. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, ensure you subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. And you are going to be updated with every video that we will be uploading and every live streaming that we will be taking. This is Top Grade Academy, turning confusion into confidence, where top grade begins. All the very best. And for the new viewers, ensure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. In case you are in need of our private tutorials, in case you are interested in our private tutorials, dial +254 742 0908 25. In case you are a private student, remember KCSE, will be ending next year 2027. In case you are a private student, just contact this number, and we do offer private tutorials for different subjects: mathematics, chemistry, biology, and we believe in the near future we will still gravitate towards languages and humanities. But in the meantime, we have sciences and mathematics. So if you are interested in our services, just dial that number. You can WhatsApp, you can call. The number is on +2547420900825. It is not a must you be in Kenya. Even if you are in diaspora, you are aspiring to sit for KCSE 2027, you can start running from where you are. Have a blessed night. Let us meet in our next lesson, that is tomorrow, so that we can continue demystifying and simplifying mathematics in a way that we can all understand. Have a blessed night.